Hello, my sexy muffins, and welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a Leatherface, aka Thomas Hewitt from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as a Yandere for you, his childhood friend. This is how you guys met and such as kids in kindergarten, which is going to be how you guys met. You're both in Texas, so you're American, you're Texan, and you are also probably female. Yeah, you're female in this because it's a female listener. So yes, that is that. I'm sorry for all my mask and manly and non-binary muffins that do not appreciate the femaleness. I am sorry. Anyways, let's get on to the video. And disclaimer number one. Disclaimer, sorry if I sound stuffy. I have severe allergies right now. Anyways, disclaimer number one. People that eat people are not okay. Do not eat people. This is fiction of a fictional character that eats people. But no real people were eaten in the making of this video. It is all fiction. Please remember to separate fiction from reality. Eating people is not okay. Liking people that eat people is not okay. It is okay to sip for fictional characters that do eat people as long as you do not support or condone the consumption of people. Thank you. Now, disclaimer number two. Leatherface, aka Thomas Hewitt, is not Yandere canon. This is just for fun and not to be taken serious at all. Simping for fictional characters and fictional Yanderes is fine, just do not be illegal or gross about it. And remember to separate fiction from reality and headcanon from canon, and that Yanderes are not ideal partners to have in real life. One second, Okay, it passed. I had to sneeze. My nose is running and sneezy. I apologize in advance. Now, let's get on to business. Thomas Hewitt was getting ready for his first day of kindergarten. He was very nervous because he had deformities on his face from his birth. Then, his birth was at the meat packaging plant where his biological mother gave birth to him, and then the owner threw him away, more or less, which is not good in real life. Don't do that in real life. But this was a different time, and it's also fiction. Fiction. Of course, his adoptive mother, Luna May, adopted him and took him home into him. She was her perfect baby boy, and she loved him very, very much. She decided to raise him, and she wanted him to have a good first day of school. He wore a special face mask to cover his mouth and some of his deformities, and he looked up at her as she walks him down the road to the schoolhouse. Are you sure you're ready for kindergarten? She asks him. He nodded. He was nervous, but also a bit excited. He didn't get to see a lot of other kids growing up to 6 years old, so he was nervous about going to the very first time. They make it to the schoolhouse, and there was many kids. Well, their age schoolhouse. The elementary school, this is just for kindergarten and such. The elementary school was elsewhere, and he was led in to the schoolhouse where the teacher saw Luna May and nodded. She made a face at Thomas, but Thomas didn't notice. He was too busy looking around. That The kids looked at him strangely, but did not pay him any mind as of right now. So this is my son Thomas, and he is going to be in your class. Please do not ask him to take off his face covering, she says. It's not Please do not let him take it off. It'll just cause bullying and stuff. The teacher sighed but nodded her head, having known about this ahead of time. All right, but I can't control the kids. She says it was the past. The past was horrible. And Thomas hugs his mom goodbye, and she goes to walk home. Will be coming to pick him back up as soon as possible. Class started, and everyone had to say their name and who they were and all that stuff. Thomas had a little trouble speaking, being relatively mute, so he got ridiculed for it. One girl, though, your name, did not ridicule him and made a face at her classmates. The class continued on, and kids threw paper balls and such at Thomas and mocked him behind his back. Thomas was having the worst day of his life. At least that's what it felt to him. Soon it was lunch and recess, and Thomas went out to eat his lunch alone because no one wanted to play with him or to sit with him. Except for Your Name. Your Name walked up, carrying her lunch, her brown bag, and she sat down next to Thomas on the wooden bench. Do you want to have lunch with me? She asks, and Thomas was shocked. He looked around and then pointed to himself, and she nodded. Yeah, I don't mind having lunch with you, she says. My uncle is mute, and well, people suck, she says. And she pulls out her sandwich in a cosmic brownie. You want to share my brownie? She asks him, and he nodded his head. She broke it in half and turned away to let him eat because she didn't want to make him feel nervous. Thomas quickly moved his mask cover and ate the brownie. It was so good. His mama couldn't afford them, but it was so good and so nice that this girl offered some to him. Anyways, my name is your name, last name, she says. My parents are more well off, but they wanted me to go to school like every other kid, she says. But most of these kids are a-holes. She used the slur instead. It's her parents do swear a lot. Thomas was shocked at her language, but listened to her as she rambled on. And I hate how they treated you. My dad treats my uncle, his brother, just the same way. Anyways, I think we're going to be best friends, she says, and holds out her pinky. Promise me you'll be my best friend, she says. Just suddenly all interested in Thomas, probably because she saw her favorite uncle in him with the muteness, and she wanted to be his friend and to be a nice person. Thomas was shocked, but held out his pinky, and you both swore that you were going to be each other's best friends for life. And that is how it started. You guys continued to have lunch. You give him Thomas's privacy to eat, so you didn't see his face because you respected that. And then you guys went to play, and you played catch with a ball, bouncing it against the fence, and then back to you. So, Thomas, how old are you? Thomas held up six fingers when he bounced the ball back to you, and you caught it. Yeah, I'm 5.5, she says, holding up 5.5 finger. Well, not a half finger, but five and week and a finger, flipping it up and down. So you're a bit older than me, she says, bouncing the ball back. He smiled and nodded. He liked that he was a bit older than her. That would be it means he would be able to protect her. She smiles at him, and he smiles back behind his mask. It was a great day, and everything was going great. Soon they had to go back in and finish their lessons. You asked the teacher if you could sit next to Thomas. He has struggle with speaking, and I think I can sort of understand him. I think I can help him in class. You tell the teacher, please. I promise I will be good, she says. You say. And the teacher sighed. All right, but you better not cause any trouble, Your Name, she says, and you were switched over to Thomas, where you sat next to him, and you both started to go over. You helped him write out his work that he was having struggling with, and soon the day was over, and it was time to wait for your parents. Ludame came and saw you talking to Thomas. Oh, Thomas, did you make a friend? Ludame was shocked. Hey, Miss Hewitt, you say, waving to her. Yes, I am Thomas's best friend, she said. You say, smiling and grinning. Thomas, I'll help you with your homework in the morning tomorrow so we can get everything done. And maybe we can come over I can come over some days to help you with homework as well. You say to him. Thomas nodded his head happily and looked at his mama asking for permission. And Ludwig smiled. This was beautiful. This was so sweet. She could tell Your Name was genuinely interested in Thomas' friendship. I would really like that as long as your parents are okay with it. I'll ask them tonight. Thank you, Miss Hewitt. Have a nice day, Thomas. See you tomorrow. And you rushed off, ready to have a nice day at home where your parents could pick you up. Of course, they sent the driver. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this, and if you would like to see more, comment below what you would like to see. If you want to see anything specific in this mini-series, comment it by below, and I will do my best to do it. Patreon outro. Thank you, Gav, for being my first patron. You are wonderful, beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. Ugh. Thank you, Gav. Thank you, Wicked Brody, for being my second patron. You are wonderful, beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. Ugh. Thank you, Wicked Brody. I hope that you all enjoyed, and stay sexy, all my sexy muffins. Bye bye. Secret outro time. Secret outro of the day is Would you have been Thomas's friend? My answer is yes. Stay sexy, all my sexy muffins. Bye bye.